All right, bros, you could get a girlfriend if you just tried. Now, I've been reading my comments recently a lot, and I've started to realize that the nature of what I'm doing is very unusual, it's very strange. Not everyone is going to have the balls and have the courage. I'm not saying I'm like some big bald hero or anything, 'cause I kind of am, but you know, it's okay. But what I'm trying to say is not everyone is going to have the courage to approach. This is a very non-mainstream thing, this is a very niche thing, and I think I forget that because I've been in it for so long. I grew up watching the content, and I'm personally more of like a black sheep. Like, I'm a really outside of the box thinker. Always have been, probably always will be. I'm open-minded. And when I first saw content about how to get girls, it was simple pickup. Back in, 2012? Like a long time. I was in high school and I saw these videos of these three nerdy guys. There's this Asian guy, and I'm half Asian by the way, and I'm a super nerd at heart. And then there was this Indian guy, and then there was this mixed guy, this guy who kind of looked like me. And they would just go out, they would sometimes dress in like fucking Spider-Man costumes, or just, they would do like picking up girls as a nerd, picking up girls dressed up in costumes. They would do all these silly kind of prank-like videos for YouTube, but they would actually get results, man. They would have videos of them like making out with girls, they would get numbers, and they were called simple pickup for a reason. They just simplified it, they made it look easy, and they just showed that if you go out and you try, you will get results, you will get girls. Now, that was the beginning of my journey getting into the approaching women thing. Like, that's how it started. I saw these videos as a super nerd myself back in the day, and who knows, maybe I'll show you some pictures of me back in the day. I wasn't the most handsome man ever. I didn't know. I was handsome, and I think this actually applies to a lot of you guys, seriously. I was handsome, I just didn't know how to do my hair. I didn't know how to dress. I was out of shape and kind of skinny fat or chubby, and I was awkward and I was nervous. Like, yes, you have the potential to be handsome, you just gotta fix a lot of things, and you can maximize looks max, even though I really don't like looks, the whole looks maxing thing that much, but you can max out your looks. So, that being said, I don't think being a pretty boy is the key to getting girls. I really don't. Some girls like that look. I noticed some girls look like a more rugged look. This is besides the point. I was watching the videos growing up, and it showed me that, wait a minute, there's more to getting girls than just having money and looking attractive. There is a part of you that can just go out, be funny, be yourself, and then get girls. Like, there's a girl that's gonna like you. So that sparked my curiosity, but of course I never would have the courage to approach back in high school, ever. So anyone in high school who can approach, shout out to you, it's fucking hard. And you're not even that high value yet when you're young. Dude, when you're fucking 18, do you think the 18-year-old wants to date the other 18-year-old guy? Sometimes they do, if he's cool. But more than likely, she wants to date someone who's a little bit older and a little bit more mature. And dude, I feel like my life didn't really even start till I was like 25. Like, genuinely, I was so stupid before 25, it's not even funny, it's actually embarrassing. So I would say that if you're young, like, dude, you can't expect to be very high value. You can't expect to have it all figured out when you're young. You're fucking young. Just take your time and be patient, play the long game. Anyways, fast forward a little bit. I'm now in college. I broke my leg. I've told this story a few times, but I broke my leg, and it forced me to stop partying and doing drugs, and it forced me to reflect and look at my life. I was at home for about 2 months, couldn't really walk much, I was on crutches, and I was just going through a lot of fucking pain emotionally and physically, and I was just reflecting on my life, and that was the turning point in my life. That was when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start studying hard in school. I'm gonna start going out and approaching 5 women per day whenever the next school year starts. I'm gonna start working out, and I even started at home with my broken leg. I would just do push-ups with my leg elevated. And I'm gonna fucking change my life, because I'm tired of being a fucking dumbass and just partying and wasting life and not doing anything productive. So that was the turning point where I was like going through enough pain to reflect and see that, you know what, there's a lot more to life than just what I'm doing now. So I started approaching 5 women per day, and I found this other channel called Real Social Dynamics. And these guys, they made simple pickup look like fucking child's play. These guys were, dude, now these guys were crazy. Crazy good, crazy in behavior. They would record pickups from open to close and put it on YouTube. It was so crazy that they had to take 90% of their content down because of the culture. It's more of a sensitive culture now. There's more cancel culture. But at the time, when I watched it, when I found the channel, I was like, holy shit, these guys are, not only were they good, but the way they explained social dynamics, and more specifically, social conditioning, blew my mind, changed my life forever. I would watch a video and I wouldn't be able to sleep because I was having such epiphanies. I was like, yo, this is crazy. My whole life, I've been told that since you're a nerdy, dorky guy, or since you grew up and you weren't popular when you grew up and you don't know how to talk to girls, that's just who you are. And there are the Chads and Brads, and then there's you, and you have to stay down at the bottom. But then I realized that social conditioning and how you were raised and how society raises you kind of makes you into a simp. It kind of turns you into, like naturally, a guy who settles for less, and then they tell you that there's this dream girl waiting for you, just be yourself, which is true, but that is a complex thing. Be yourself. There's so much to be yourself to uncover, but just be your same original dorky beta self who can't project his voice, who can't approach, who is scared to talk to a girl, who's scared of rejection, and just wait for the one girl. And then when you find that one girl, and if you even end up finding her, you have to chase her so hard and be super insecure that she's gonna leave, because you know that if she leaves, you won't be able to replace her because you have no game. So game, in of itself, is a very niche topic. And when I was 19, and I started approaching, and I started watching the content on how to have an abundant lifestyle, how to be non-needy, how to be very congruent, how to build momentum through approaching. When I started watching that content and I started practicing it, I would go to school and I would approach 5, 6, 7 times, and I would get rejected every single time. But if I even got one little fucking smile, if I even got one girl to say, oh, have a nice day, if I even got a flaky Instagram number, I was thrilled, bro. I was like, yo, I'm the man. I fucking did it. I would go home and brag to my friends about how I'm a fucking pimp. And guess what? After months of approaching, I actually started to get laid. Like, I actually started to pull girls home. We would have little movie nights at home. We would throw little parties, little get-togethers, and it actually worked. It actually worked, and it was the most mind-blowing experience for me as a guy who grew up his entire life unable to talk to girls. Like literally would get, I mean, dude, my first approaches when I first went out, I would say my first 100 approaches were just me dealing with the anxiety of approaching. Like, it was literally like just me walking up and just, okay, and just shaking and just like, hey, how's it going? And just trying to get through the interaction. Like, dude, not even close to getting the girl. But I would use that momentum and I would do it, and I would get so much adrenaline that I would actually feel amazing from it. So the only difference between me and some people, this is the one strength that I had, and I really have to credit this to my mentor, because he's the one who instilled it in me, which is I was just proud that I was able to do the damn thing, and I genuinely saw my little bit of progress as progress. Like, I genuinely saw every single approach as I was getting better and better. Now, check out the views, by the way. I'm gonna get nervous here because now I'm talking in front of an audience, so that's okay. It's my job, it's what I do. So I saw every little approach as progress, and even though I didn't get results right away, I actually felt good afterwards. And I think that's a major part of your success when you're starting off and you're approaching for the first time, is you just have to actually enjoy the process of getting better. And so many guys hate the process that there's no way they're gonna excel. There's no way they're gonna get better. And you gotta be patient. So that's pretty much it. And if you just really tried, like if you really just went out, let's just say 30 minutes per day, because it doesn't take more than that, and you did that for 6 months. And when I say 6 months, I genuinely mean at least 5 times per day. Like, every single time you're going out, and I would say at least 5 to 10 approaches, where you're going out, you're constantly getting social interaction, you're getting better at approaching strangers, which in of itself is actually a skill. It's kind of like sales, because the minute you approach a stranger, they're immediately going to be like, okay, why is he approaching me? What does he want from me? And if you just get good at winning people over and having some friendly conversations, and then you level that up in a second to like showing intent and saying, hey, I think you're cute, then you'll get rejected a couple of times. And then after that, you level that up to getting a number because you're actually attracting her a bit, but then you realize that she flakes on you because you didn't build enough comfort. Maybe you exited the interaction too quickly. And then you get better at handling more and more social pressure so that you can handle being in the set or being in the interaction for a long time, maybe even leading her around and going on an instant date. And then after that, you get a number, and it's not even flaky because she's hooked and she wants to go on a date with you. So you go on a date, and then you learn, okay, well, where do I want to take her? What do I like? You take her on a shitty little date. It's not that good. It's a little awkward. You don't really know how to escalate, and then you fumble it, and then you try again, and you approach again and again and again. You get another date. You figure out, okay, that coffee shop was boring. What if I take her here? This place looks fun. There's a lot of sunlight. We can walk around. It's a little more entertaining. I can actually afford it. It's not expensive. And then you go there. Maybe you grab a drink, and you finally get the balls to make a move. You go in for a kiss, and it actually works. Sometimes it doesn't, but when it doesn't, you back the fuck up immediately. You don't make it a big deal, and you keep on trying. And then if she doesn't want you, then you just move on to the next. But let's say she does want you, and you realize, holy shit, I did this all on my own from approaching strangers, from approaching girls. I found a girl who likes me. It might take some time, but it's fucking possible. It might take some time. It might take some time, and I think you really need to be patient with the result of trying to get better with women. And I think a lot of guys, I got a comment recently, he said, man, this shit is whack. I've been approaching for 2 weeks and nobody wants to talk to me. I'm like, well, I can tell you this for a fucking fact. If nobody wants to talk to you, it's not because you're ugly, I promise. I've seen ugly guys who have no game and can't get girls, but they can at least walk up and have a conversation. So if you can't even have a conversation with someone, then there's something in your communication that's throwing them off. Maybe you're too nervous. Okay, how do we dial that back? How do we work on that? How do we baby step our way up to a conversation? Maybe you're too needy, you're coming off too strong, and you don't have the game to back that up yet. And you're just like, hey, what's up, girl? You're beautiful, but you're way too fucking out. You're not calibrated. So now that's turning her off. Whatever it is, you have to tweak the dials a bit. And every now and then I'll go out and I'm like, okay, I'm a little uncalibrated today. How do I tweak the dials? How do I get myself back into the zone? So I just feel like too many of you guys, and this is my message, honestly, to the younger generation. Too many of you guys, way too many of you guys, and this is me sometimes, but when it came to approaching women, I was never like this. But to some things, we're all like this to a certain degree, but too many of you young motherfuckers, and I'm serious, too many of you guys are entitled to the fruits of your labor, but not the labor itself. And it should be the other way around. Now let me not trip. These are actually some really slippery rocks here. I don't want to fucking bust my ass in front of like the entire fucking audience that I have here, but too many of you guys are entitled to the fruits of your labor. You're like, why don't I have the girlfriend? And this is why I think you're entitled to something that you haven't even worked for and you don't have the audacity or the fucking balls to do. It's because of social media, man. It's really simple. You get on social media and you see guys your age who you think are getting girls. Little do you know, maybe that they have shitty relationships and you're just seeing what they have on the surface. But nevertheless, you're getting on social media, you're scrolling, and you're seeing, oh, look at this person, he has a girl. Oh, look at this person, he's getting all the girls. He has all these girls around him. And you're seeing these lifestyles of people getting results. And you're on Instagram or wherever, and you're seeing all these hot girls, and it's constantly plugging in. I mean, dude, Instagram and TikTok or whatever, it's almost like it's almost like porn. It's almost just as bad as porn because it's making you want these girls without having to go through the process of being in person and approaching. And then you're also conditioned to want to go on dating apps and not even have to get out of the house and just swipe, so you're not even building any skills. I mean, dude, the skills that I've built from cold approach is insane. I'm a social person. everywhere I go, I dominate the conversation pretty much. I know how to lead, I know how to be assertive, I know how to negotiate, I know how to talk to people, I know how to do small talk. I used to suck at small talk. I used to really suck at it. I didn't get the point in it. I'm like, why do people just talk about bullshit that doesn't matter? Well, guess what? It's just an energy exchange. And then once I learned that you just have to work on your energy, life, I mean, dude, I'm vlogging in front of like a lot of people here and I don't even feel anything anymore. And that, to me, that's such an amazing thing. I used to be so fucking nervous, bro. Like I wouldn't have been able to do this even last year. So you constantly work on yourself through cold approaching. It is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever experience. And then you get the girl, but the girl is just the cherry on top. You can't get attached to that result. So a lot of guys, they're on social media and they just want the girl. I just want the girl. And you don't want to get rejected. You don't want to work for it. And so much of that mindset is just so toxic. And I think that is fucking up the younger generation because now they feel like they should and deserve to get the girl. They think that it should just be, they think that's just, oh, I just should get her. Like there shouldn't be any work. Whereas in the past, before social media, I think everyone understood that if I'm gonna be a little bitch and stay at home and not approach, then I'm just not gonna get the girl. And that's okay, well, I'll just have to settle for it. And then they'll just there was a term back in the day that they used to use, which was called white knighting. They would go out, maybe to a bar, and they would be too scared to approach, and then they would see a guy like me approaching, and then they would try to cock block, thinking that this is gonna make me attractive to the girl. They would do something like, hey man, why don't you leave her alone, even though the girl likes you and she's smiling? Or they would go up to the girl and be like, hey, do you like this guy? Do you want to make out with him? Or do something uncalibrated to throw off the interaction? Shit happens all the time. Shit happens all the time, bro, where guys like fucking beta chumps who aren't even bad, like they could do it too. They're just too afraid. When you have the balls to approach, they'll walk up into your interaction at the bar and they'll say something about you, they'll cock block. And they won't even talk to the girl, they'll just try to cock block, thinking that that is the right thing to do somehow. And I've had that happen many times, it's really annoying. Usually it doesn't even work too. Usually if I just remain non-reactive, I'm like, oh cool, I'm the fun guy, whatever, you're fucking lame. And I don't say it, it's just in my energy, I feel it off of them. Usually the girls will be like, okay, cool, and then I'll just lead them somewhere else and we'll be fine. But you learn how to deal with that thing through cold approaching. You learn how to do a lot of things, and then you learn to get the girl. So many young guys, they don't even want to try, bro. They don't even want to try. And if they do, as soon as they feel a little resistance, they're like, well, this is hard. Yeah, dummy, it's hard. Guess what? It's gonna be hard for a while. And even for the most attractive guys, it's still pretty hard. So if you're not even a male model looking motherfucker, you better get ready. You better buckle the fuck up if you want success. And then we have this whole other fucking argument of like, girls just want money. Girls just want people who look good. Do girls, more than ever, maybe in some countries, Eastern Europe, maybe they want a little more money, I don't know. Eastern Europe, I mean, dude, girls react to the same thing. All girls react. They all respond to game. But some countries that are poorer, they value money more. They won't give it up as easily if you're not getting into a relationship with them. But in the West, girls are like, money doesn't matter. I just want to have fun. I can make my own money, independent woman. They want a cool guy now. They don't want money. And I know, bro, trust me on this one. I know plenty of guys. I know a lot, too many guys who have money and they use prostitutes. I know too many guys like that because I'm in an entrepreneurs networking group. And it blew my mind because these guys are actually cool. These guys are actually cool to a certain degree. They just don't want to go through the process of learning how to get girls. And fair enough. I mean, you don't need to learn. You could use your money, you could lead with your money, but then you might end up getting a girl who's liking you more for your money and not as much for your personality. So it is what it is. Check this out. We got a river here. I don't really know. Let's see how deep this thing goes. Oh, well, that's not too bad. Okay, well, that's interesting. I hope you guys are enjoying the vlog today. So I've just been reading these comments and I'm like, I forget. I just forget that, hey, guess what, Danny? Not everyone grew up watching same content as you. Oh my God, it's like quicksand out here. Not everyone grew up watching the same content as you. Not everyone understands this. So I want to be the guy to tell you that this is going to be a 1 to 2 to 3 year long journey of consistently, like going out consistently, approaching. But I promise you, I swear to God, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I really, dude, the game, this shit makes you, it's spiritual, bro. This shit makes you believe in God, because you'll have bad nights, and then when you don't give up and you're persistent, it's like the fucking game gods, the fucking pickup gods reward you. They're like, just for trying, we're gonna have an epic experience for you tonight. You don't even know. You go out, just a normal ass day, it's another session, you're in the routine of doing it, you're in the habit, and then next thing you know, boom, you pull a stunner. Or you get a girl that you've never gotten before. And you'll be in that moment. This actually happens to me. I still get the waves of adrenaline whenever I go out and I have a cool experience, especially if it's been a while since I've had one. Even last night, and I've been in it for so long, but even now, even still, I still get like waves of like, holy shit, this is real? This is me? I'm doing this? Like yesterday, there's a girl, she was just as tall as me, Australian girl. She was like maybe 1 inch shorter, and she was beautiful, man. Fucking nice body. Oh my gosh, she was like 21. Bro, oh my God, I could tell you the whole full backstory on it. Long story short, she was shit testing me a lot, She was like, oh, where are you from? Oh, you like Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, girl, Texas and Florida are the best states ever. California went to shit, the liberals ruined it. She's so, you like Donald or Kamala? And I didn't answer her directly, but I was just like, listen, I'm a Texan. Texas is the best state, baby, big guns. Then she walked off. She was like, fuck it, bye. And I just laughed. And in my head, I was thinking, you're gonna come back because I know I'm cool. And I just laughed, completely non-reactive. And sure enough, she came back. But when she came back, she literally got next to me and we started embracing in like an intimate hug. And then we started making out. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? How did that happen? Yo, this is crazy. I learned this from the internet. I learned that when a girl shit tests you, that actually means that she's attractive. So you don't want to react. You want to just play it cool and make it fun and not get absorbed in the content, but more of the energy. And then it worked. And then I led her and her friend around. We were dancing, we were having a good time. And man, oh man, I remember being on the dance floor with her. All the guys are staring and I'm like, dude, 20 minutes ago, I was wandering around trying to find a girl to talk to. Not, honestly feeling a little discouraged. I mean, it happens every now and then where you're like, this is kind of hard. Well, this is gonna be a long night. And what I do, and this is a little side tip, I set a timer and I'm like, okay, well, I have to stay here for an hour and keep on trying. I'm not allowed to leave. Even if I feel like there's nothing here, I'm not allowed to leave and I have to keep on approaching. You have to do that in a high volume area. And then it worked. And some nights it doesn't work. But the high that I feel, the high that I feel, and the experience that I gained gave me so much energy. I was actually tired before I went out. When I went home, I could barely sleep because I was so energized. And I felt amazing. And now I have this really cool reference of what it feels like to stick through a shit test and get a girl. Now, I'm getting far off topic, and I want to leave you with this. If you are thinking of getting better with women and you think that it's possible for you, then realize there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You're gonna level up your game, your charisma first, and then you're gonna meet more girls and you're gonna realize, well, you know what? When I dress like this, things work better compared to when I dress like this. Let me wear, I get better reactions at first. You're gonna learn a lot about yourself and how to deal with negativity. And just don't get discouraged in the process because it's not going to be an easy process. It's not. And if you are expecting an easy process, then you're gonna fail. So be patient with it, play the long game, and then from the ages of 18 to 35, make the most out of approaching whenever you're not in a relationship. Become that guy. And when you're 35, 40, and you're getting a little bit too old to approach, you'll be fucking thankful that you actually did the thing when you were young. You'll be thankful that you didn't make excuses and you walked up to all the girls that you could and you leveled up your game and you didn't take it too seriously and you had a good time doing it, and you have plenty of experience to back it up. You'll be thankful that you have loads of charisma, you're able to handle social pressure better than almost anyone else your age, and you know how to approach anyone and have a conversation. Everyone's gonna talk to you and be like, dude, you're such a social person. Like, wow, were you always like this? Like, no, motherfucker, I approach. And you're gonna be thankful that in the future, maybe, when you have a beautiful girlfriend or a wife, and you didn't settle for someone who didn't fit your vibe and didn't fit your standards, because most guys don't even have standards because they can't afford to have standards. They can't even get a girl. And when they do end up getting lucky, they get so needy because they know it is exactly what I said. They just got lucky. So you'll be thankful when you actually have the abundance and the choice to choose a girl that you like, who fits your life, who's obsessed about you and not just your money, and you can settle with her. You'll be thankful and you'll think to yourself, you know what, I'm fucking glad I put in those years of hard work to work on my game a little bit so that I can have one of the most important parts of life, an amazing girlfriend. Like, dude, you're not gonna be happy without an amazing girlfriend. This is one of the pillars of life. There's your health, which is the foundation. There's your wealth, which is the accelerator. And then there's love, which is the purpose. So this is a major part of your life. And if you think that you're not gonna have to put in any work to get a major part of your life to be high standards and excel and top tier, then you're absolutely delusional. All right, guys, let's climb this real quick. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a video that a lot of you guys need to hear, and hopefully a lot of you guys will actually listen to. And I appreciate you. I'll see you on the other side. You already know what to do if you want my help. And yeah, man. Beautiful day out here, ain't it? Look at this. Look at this. A nice little beach here. All right, all right, all right, boys. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace and love. Shout out to Bali, shout out to God. Shout out to anyone chasing their dreams and actually putting in the effort. That shit's hard. Keep going. Peace, guys.